Welcome back to my channel, friends. This is Sonia here from Growing Craft, and I'm so excited to share this beautiful nameplate video tutorial with you all. Yes, it's a tutorial with the decoupage and mixed media project. So here I have this beautiful decoupage tissue. It has this really nice floral pattern in this, and I have decided to use this for my nameplate, as you have already seen in the picture at the starting. Now I am going to do a fussy cutting work in this. So this is the first time I'm doing the fussy cutting work with the floral pattern tissue, and trust me, this is really tricky, but I thoroughly enjoyed the process of making this nameplate and the fussy cutting work and the detailing work. So here I was a little confused how and from where to cut this. So I have decided that I'm going to first broadly cut the flowers and see how it goes really well with my project and on the borders of my nameplate, and then I'm going to do the cutting work. So just to make my work a little easier, and anyways I'm going to have a complete white base for my background, so I decided to go with the broader fussy cutting work. That means I am not going to do the very fine line cutting. I am just going to leave some borders on the edges, and that is going to make my work really easy with the decoupage tissues. Now this tissue had a very big size florals and I really loved it, so I have decided to use this as patchwork on my nameplate. So I am going to cut all of these. Here in this project I am using decoupage tissue, and if you want you can also use your decoupage papers, you can use your pattern papers, or you can use your packaging papers and just play around with the designs which is there with you. So here I have already done the 2 flowers cutting, and I am going to cut few more flowers. So basically in this one nameplate I am going to have half sheet of my decoupage tissue and half is already there, and I can surely make some more projects with that. Now whenever you are doing a nameplate, please make sure that your base is really strong. So here for my base I have taken a MDF base. So this is a years back nameplate. Like I bought this around 5-6 years back with one of my local vendor from Mumbai, and till that since then I've never used this one, so I thought I will use this one for my nameplate. And this is how my flower looks now, and these are really beautiful. I just need to see that how I'm going to arrange it, and do I need to add more flowers to it, then I will have to do some more fussy cutting work. Now whenever I do fussy cutting work, I have some particular collection of scissors which I use for the fussy cutting work, because fussy cutting work needs very sharp and very edgy scissors. So trust me, I have around 7-8 scissors for the different purpose of use, and some of them are my really favorite ones. So maybe I can do a video with my scissors sometime. Okay, so here I'm done with my cutting work, and now it's time to paint my nameplate. So now I need to color up my base, and for this I'm using my white acrylic paint. Now this MDF base is really smooth. It does not need any sanding or any prepping up the base, and this white acrylic paint is really going to make my work easier and make my work better. So here I'm applying a white coat of acrylic paint. As it's an MDF, and this is really old one, so it had some brown patches on it, but do not worry, I am going to have 2-3 coats of white acrylic paint on this. Now whenever you're doing your acrylic paint, make sure whenever you switch on to the next layer, your first layer has dried out completely. This is really important, so that your base absorbs the color really well, your layers settle down really well, and that is actually going to give a very nice and bright white background for your decoupage work, which is really required. So here I did this video in a little quick mode, so I could not show you the drying process, but yes, I had dried out my nameplate after each use, and anyways it's really hot in Bangalore, so my nameplate was drying really quick. Now this is how I've decided to plan out my nameplate, and I need Mod Podge for this. Now for the name, I have taken a printout on my regular printer and on a regular thin paper, and I just need to remove my decoupage tissues now and stick this one really well. Now I am going to remove all the plies of my decoupage tissue. Yes, very important thing, I have done a video very recently on a little more about my decoupage tissues, and that video is already live on my channel. You can check that, where I have shown you that how to remove the decoupage tissue plies, and why is it important to remove the plies, and how can you make out the difference that has your plies came out really well or not. So do check that video, because that is really important. Initially when I started decoupage just for the trial, so I made so many mistakes, and I have definitely learned from this. But yes, you need to check out that video so that you don't repeat those same mistakes what I had done. Now I have removed the pliers, and it's time to stick my name on this. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply Mod Podge, and I'm going to stick this on my base. Now the printout is the regular printout, very thin paper, the regular printer paper I have used, because anyways I'm going to work on this. And now I'm going to stick it almost on the center of the nameplate, because I need to add the floral patterns on the border, and I'm going to make sure that my nameplate sticks really well. Now again I'm going to rearrange my decoupage tissue. Unless until I stick it, I am just going to play around with it, and I'll just keep on changing the places here and there just to make sure that it looks really good, and I don't waste too much of decoupage tissues here. So I just realized that I forgot to remove the ply of this one, and I am actually loving the combination of pink, red to greens and all this floral pattern in this one. You can arrange the floral patterns as the way you want, and this is completely your choice. Now to stick these, I am going to use my matte finish Mod Podge. I love using matte finish Mod Podge. I have been using this for years now, and they are just fab. The reason why I love using fussy cut decoupage napkins is that you tend to have very less wrinkles when you have the smaller portion of decoupage area, especially when you are working with the tissues. So that is one of the reasons why I love doing this. Now when I was sticking this, I could see that I am sticking few of the floral patterns on the name. It is actually overlapping with the name which I have sticked on my nameplate, but do not worry, anyways we are going to paint the name again on my nameplate, so that is not a major concern of mine, because when I am going to do the painting work, it is going to overlap and it is going to look really very clear. Now sticking a decoupage tissue is a little tricky work, so please be really careful, and please do make sure that you apply generous amount of Mod Podge so that it sticks well, because that is something which is going to make sure that your decoupage tissue sticks to your base really well. Now here, after finishing my project, I actually realized that I wasted so much of decoupage tissue. Maybe I could have trimmed that and used that, but no worries, we all learn from our mistake, and this is what I've learned, that when I was adding these flowers to this, maybe I could have cut the extra portion and used it for my future projects. But don't worry, that's okay. It's absolutely fine to do some mistakes in your project. Now here I am almost done with my sticking work, and this is already looking so gorgeous, and now I need to make sure that this dries out really well. Now on the borders, I already had some Mod Podge with the base, so I'm just going to tap the extra tissues on the sides, and I'm going to stick it well. Even if it does not stick, it's absolutely fine. I can paint it later on. So this is how the frame looks now, and I'm going to use my heat gun to speed up the drying process. And my nameplate has dried out completely, and it's looking so amazing. And here is my sandpaper, and I am going to take a small piece of this and remove all the excessive tissues from my nameplate. Now whenever you're using your sandpaper, please make sure that you press the sandpaper to the base on the edges from the top layer of the tissues to the base. This is going to make sure that you do not rub off the tissues from your base. It is just going to remove the excessive paper. And you can see in this video that how finely and how beautifully you can easily remove all the excessive paper from your nameplate. Now, while removing the tissues, I could make out that from some of the edges the paint was coming out, which is absolutely fine because I think that was actually adding a little more drama to my nameplate. And I'm going to do some hand color brushing on my nameplate, which is going to make it look good, definitely. Now here I'm using my sandpaper. The one of the safest alternate which I have tried personally is using your nail filer, although that is going to be really expensive because you need to keep on buying the new nail filers after, of course they are going to lose their all the sandiness. So but the easiest available alternate at our home for the sandpaper, and especially for the smaller surface, is your nail filer. You can use that and it works amazingly for your decoupage tissue removing work. Now with this I'm almost done with removing my nameplate, and trust me, and I was really tired while doing this removing work, but it's fun and it's always good to see how your project is coming to the final work. It's time to add some texture to it, and finally I'm using my modeling paste after such a long time, and I have this beautiful polka dot stencil from Tim Hortons, and I'm going to use this just on the random spaces to use this as a filler. And I am not going to cover the complete area because I really want my floral to be the more prominent thing than the polka dots. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have any of the extra lines coming out on the edges. So I'm going to clean all my modeling paste from the edges really well. Now I've used the polka dots. You can use any of the designs. There are so many designs that are available in the market, and now the good part is that many of the Indian brands are coming up with the stencils, and they have some really amazing designs and variety of sizes also, which is really good. So you can check that also. Now here again I'm going to use my heat gun to speed up the drying process. You can let it dry naturally, but it is going to take really good time. And I have some time restrictions. Whenever I'm making a video, I have to do it during the daytime so that in the evening I can spend my time with my family, with my daughter, and I can do all my house chores in the evening. So morning time is my crafting time, which I really enjoy. Now my nameplate has dried out really well, and it's the most difficult part, the painting part, and I am not at all good in painting. So here I am actually really nervous while doing this, because this has to be done when you are done with all your decoupage and everything, so that you can overlap the colors on your tissues and everything. So here I am going to use my black color acrylic paint, and I am actually searching for my thin paint brush. I really did not know where I have kept it. Okay, I just realized that before that I need to cover up all my tissues, so that even if the paint drops in on my tissue, I can just wipe it quickly with my wet wipe or my wet napkin, and that can be cleared really well. So this is one of really good trick which you can do. So here I am using my acrylic gel medium on the top of it. You can even use your Mod Podge, but do make sure that you do this step so that your decoupage work and your base work does not rinse at all. Just in case, if you want, you can even do the this coating work on your name also. And here, as you can see, that my color was actually spreading a little bit. The color of my name plate, the name which is printed, but then that's absolutely fine, because anyways I'm going to do so many work on the top of it, like with the stamping and everything, and it is going to cover up really well. Now before doing the Agarwal's painting work, I need to make sure that my base has dried out really well. And now it's time to do the acrylic painting, black color painting on my name. So I am going to use my thin paint brush, and I'm going to use black acrylic paint, and I am going to just do the coloring work as it is, which is there in the font, and I'm going to make sure that I do it really finely so that I do not so that I don't ruin the name, the beautiful pattern which is already there on my nameplate. The fun part is to add some more stamping on my background. So here what I'm going to do is I am going to use my permanent ink pad and I'm going to do the stamping. And I am going to use this as a filler like I always do, because this is the best thing what you can do with your mixed media projects and they look really good. But please make sure that you use a permanent ink for your stamping. Now once I am done with my stamping work and my base is dried out completely, now with my finger I'm just going to take some white acrylic paint and I'm going to dab it on the edges of my nameplate. Now this is completely optional, you can leave it just like that. That is going to give a really nice rustic and the natural look, but I thought I should add some white color to my borders, so that's the reason I'm just doing it with my fingers. Why not paint brushes? Cause like I said, I'm not at all good in painting work and the base is really thin, so I had to make sure that I do not put up the color on the floral pattern, my decoupage work, my mixed media work. So that's the reason I'm doing it with my fingers. I'm just dabbing the white acrylic paint on the edges. Now you need to be really careful because this is a little tricky and definitely you do not want to ruin your decoupage work. So just make sure that you do it really slowly and very nicely on your edges. Another fun part of this project is to add some shading to it, and here I am using my dye based ink pad. Now many of time I have been asked that how to do the shading work if you are not using the acrylic colors. So dye based ink pads are really good, but you need to be really thankful before using the consistency of the color, that how much consistency you want of the color, the darkness or the lightness. And dye based inks are just perfect when you're doing your mixed media projects, and especially when you're doing any scrapbook layout or nameplate work. They work really wonderful with your backgrounds. So here with my sponge dauber I did the coloring, and this is looking just fab now. Usually dye based inks take very less time to dry out, but as it's a mixed media base where I've already used so many colors and textures and my sealer, so I just need to make sure that it dries really well before doing my final coating. And here I'm using my wood varnish, and I'm going to cover my complete project really well. At least 2-3 coats of varnish is what I'm going to use in this. And with this my nameplate is done, and I hope you'll enjoyed this tutorial. I'm listing all the supplies down in the description box. Do check that. If you have any queries, please do comment below in the video section. I will be more than happy to help you guys. And one more thing, I'm not at all good with my other social media mediums where I can reply back, so it's better if you have any queries, please do comment down and I will try to reply as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy a few more pictures at the end. Take care. Bye bye.